Stranger Than Fiction, number 8, Norman Whicher. My introduction to Norman Whicher came via the 1975 repro copy of Somebody's Been Rocking My Boat, backed with Wake Me Up. That must have been around about 1980. He was born Norman Leon Whicher on the 5th of April 1935 in Austin, Arkansas, to parents Leon and Vaney Whicher. Although neither of his parents were musical, his grandparents on his mother's side were. However, his inspiration to learn how to play the guitar probably came from his musical cousins, who all played and sang together. In 1948, aged 13, Norman's parents bought him his first guitar from the Sears catalogue. Growing up, all I really knew was church music, he explained. I used to play guitar and sing duets with my sister Ida May. It was mostly gospel and country influences. I really liked Hank Williams a lot back then. Early 1950s I did some live radio shows on KXJK in Forest City, Arkansas. The Brother Hal show, Hal Weber, was broadcast on Saturday afternoons. So along with my cousins Coy and Melvin and sister Ida May, we would provide the musical segments. I graduated Wynne High School in 1954. In 1956, aged 21, I started my first band. We played taverns and parks, etc. By then I was proficient on double bass and guitar. I remember one time Bill Carlisle and his band come through Anderson, Indiana. They played Mockingbird Hill Park and didn't have a bass player, so they asked if I'd sit in with them. That is a pretty big deal for me back then. We played Mockingbird Hill Park a number of times. All the major country artists played there, from the 50s through to the 1970s. I really liked George Jones, but 2 of the 3 times I went to see him, he was No-Show Jones, living up to his name. I also really liked Marty Robbins and Merle Haggard, but Elvis was always a favourite of mine. I never got to see him live, but I've visited Graceland several times over the years. I worked in a factory during the day and played clubs and bars 3 nights a week, along with my cousins Coy and Melvin and a friend David Breeze. We were billed as the Blue Star Boys. Coy and myself did a lot of duets. We really liked the close harmonies of the Everly Brothers. During that time I struck up a friendship with Wayne Rainey and Jimmy Zack. Jimmy would come to our shows and sometimes join us on stage. They had started a new record label, Poor Boy Records, out of Muncie, Indiana. They had co-written 2 songs for us to do. Somebody's Been Rocking My Boat, backed with Wake Me Up. I was flattered they asked me to record them because Jimmy Zack had such a great voice. Jimmy had been a member of Wayne Rainey's band for a number of years. Neither song was demoed. Jimmy simply sang the songs for me to learn. We worked both songs into our set, and by late fall of '58, studio time was arranged. The session was in Wayne Rainey's house. We cut both songs onto his tape machine. I don't think we did them more than a couple of times each. I sang and played rhythm, Coy Taylor played lead, and David Breeze played drums. I can't remember the sax player's name. We'd never met him prior to the recording date. The master was sent to be cut at King Records in Cincinnati, Ohio. I believe around 1,000 were pressed. Locally the record did good. It received airplay and was on most of the jukeboxes, but it never really sold in quantity. If I had any regret, it would be that we didn't have a bass player for that day.
Well, I know you once loved me, baby, but you drifted away from me. Just like a rowboat, baby, yeah, you drifted out to sea. You better carrying on behind my back, and I don't like what you're doing to me. Somebody's been rocking my boat. Somebody's been rocking my boat. Somebody's been rocking, somebody's been rocking my boat. gonna do? I'm gonna find myself another little girl, wanna take a place of you. And if you should ever wonder what's happened to me, I'm doing a little rockin' too. Somebody's been rocking my boat. Somebody's been rocking my boat. Somebody's been rocking, rocking a rock, and somebody's been rocking my boat. 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 Well, it was all right, Mama, if you had your fun. Said it's all right, Mama, anything you done. But now the tide has turned. You wanna put up a fight? Well, I ain't Mama, but it's still all right. Well, wake me up when the sun goes down. Yeah, wake me up when the sun goes down. Yeah, wake me up when the sun goes down. It's just about time for me to prowl around. I don't care if the neighbors squall, 'cause I got a dog, and I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna sleep all day, out all night. Well, I ain't Mama, but it's still all right. Well, wake me up when the sun goes down. Yeah, wake me up when the sun goes down. Yeah, wake me up. It's just about time for me to prowl around.
The few years we played together, the lineup was quite variable. Elvin Taylor came in when Coy received his call-up papers for the army. Melvin Allgood was in and out of the band. He played harmonica, guitar and sang some. Coy, Elvin and Melvin were all cousins of mine. Our friend David Breeze played drums. He was from Anderson, Indiana, and was in his early 40s at that time. He and his wife Ruth brought Hope's Tavern. They changed the name to the Breeze Inn. We had regular slots there Wednesdays, Fridays and Saturdays, but the band broke up in 1962 and I settled into family life. The 22nd of July 1969. Norman was involved in a fatal accident that took the life of his cousin Cletus Lindsay, aged only 28. They were on their way to Indianapolis where they both worked at Schweitzer Turbochargers. A semi-truck had jackknifed after braking hard to avoid rear-ending a stationary vehicle. The trailer then clipped another car before colliding head-on with Norman's station wagon. Norman was taken to hospital in critical condition with head and internal injuries. I was in a coma for a few days, he said. Then they brought me out of it to operate on my chest. They waited a couple of weeks to work on my legs as they wasn't sure if I was going to live. I spent the next month in hospital and was released on the 23rd of August to convalesce at home. In 1971 we moved back to Arkansas after 15 years of living and raising a family in Indiana. We went into the restaurant business, then kept a dairy bar in Jackson, Arkansas, through to retirement. I'd like to thank Becky Witcher Boyd, Norman's daughter, for all her help in making this happen, and of course Norman for sharing his memories and photographs.